Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be covering how you actually use Lovable. By the end of this video, you'll have a live professional website on your own domain, not a Lovable subdomain, but a real .com. And all of this could be built from simply one prompt. As a professional vibe coder, I build websites for professional businesses in the Niagara region of Ontario. Anything to do with AI, I cover. In today's video, I want to share a little bit of that knowledge with you today with Lovable. Okay, to get into today's episode, the first thing you're going to need to do is obviously sign up to Lovable. You can sign up with a Google account, and then you'll just start off on the free tier. Today's video, the free tier is totally okay because you probably won't burn more than 5 credits since we're only doing 1 or 2 prompts. But if you find that you want to make a lot of changes and you're a little less efficient with using your tokens at the start, then you can give yourself that extra leeway and upgrade to the $20 a month pro plan. This is the main interface here, and if I want to go and start making a website, I would just click on the main text field here and I would begin typing up what I want to create. Now you'll notice here this thing called plan mode, and plan mode is essentially you talking to Lovable before it actually goes and exports a bunch of code. Say for example, you give it a bunch of AI slop, so a very vague description of what your website should be. Plan mode is going to question you and actually try to extract more details, so it gives you the output you want without having to burn up so many credits. If you put in a poor plan, then you're going to get a poor result. So before you start any project, I do recommend you hit the plan mode here. And if you want to make your prompt even more specific, I would go over to an LLM, which we're going to do right now. For myself, I love using Claude. Claude is my favorite. I think it's just much more efficient when I prompt it with things. So I can ask, and I'm going to use the tool Whisperflow. I'm going to talk into my computer. Hey, I want to build a website for my bakery, and I'm going to call it Saltarelli Sourdough. I want it to be based in Welland, Ontario, and it's going to serve sourdough bread, chocolate sourdough bread, and a strawberry sourdough bread. Can you make me an in-depth lovable.dev prompt for this? Thank you. Something simple like that, and then you're going to notice that Claude's going to ask me questions to try and make my prompt a bit more specific. I gave it already a lot of details. It is going to put together a good plan for me. So you can see it's extracting things like the color. It's talking about the types, or talking about the typography, already some images, and it's giving Lovable a really good foundation for building this website out. Lovable can already do this, but so you can see it's putting in a lot of placeholders right now. So like the email is not actually one of my real emails. Phone's going to be a placeholder, but it's just generating an idea for us, putting in the copyright claims. And it also has the technical stack that Lovable needs to oblige by. And if I can take that whole prompt and I'm going to go put it straight into Lovable with plan mode engaged. Now, if you're trying to build websites in bulk or you're just trying to get a really good result quickly, I would copy the prompt from before, but then ask Claude to tweak it and make a different vibe, just so that I could then take that same prompt, put into Claude or put into Lovable again, and have it give me a slightly different output. And you can keep repeating that. That's only if you have a bunch of credits. If not, you could stick to one at a time here. But for the sake of today's video, I'm just going to go through one just to give you a walkthrough of what you need to do to make your first website. So it's asking me now questions in plan mode, like, do you want a single page or separate pages? I want it as a single page. We're going to have a name for our sourdough starter, so it's getting pretty creative with its questions. We're going to call it June and see what it spits out at us. Now I'm going to approve the build plan and let it get ahead. So now I just approved the build plan, and it's actually going to start designing me a preview here. So I'm going to start playing around with some of the visuals, and then I'll jump into some of the other features that Lovable has in store for us. And the cool thing is if I forgot to add something to my prompt, I can actually do it right here in the queue feature. So I can just queue it and be like, hey, forgot to mention, add in the vanilla strawberry sourdough loaf, something silly like that. But just I can add it to the queue, so after it's done working on the base prompt right now, I can add that in additionally, and it'll automatically do it. And you can do as many of these as you want, but just take note that it's going to go in order. So, okay, so boom, you can see here that Lovable has spit us out a preview, and it's done a fantastic job at generating the images. So I'll just shrink the sidebar here. And we can see we have a nice hero section. We have good hierarchy. We have a big header. We have a big header here, small little subheading, and our 2 called actions. We have We got our big see this week's bake call to action, and then our sub read the story call to action. And in the top right corner, even though it's kind of hard to see, we have some things in the nav bar here, our bread story, order visit. Now we'll ask to fix that, so we improve the contrast. Same goes with our logo here in the top right or top left. And it's done a great job at generating some images. So we can see we have our classic, we have our dark chocolate, and we have our strawberry. And look at that, it just did it right there. We have our vanilla strawberry sourdough. That doesn't really look like sourdough, to be fair with you, but I can ask it to change that. It's even started building us a form that we could submit for ordering, all inside of Lovable. I'm guessing it has a Supabase back end, and it wants us to connect it to some sort of payment processor, because Lovable is integrated with Stripe, Shopify, Square as well. It created us a little story while generating some really nice images. And then that's really one of my favorite parts of Lovable, is it does a fantastic job of generating images. I know there's a lot of other softwares for AI website building, but Lovable really does nail just the design and also the speed. That only took me 5 minutes, and I have a fully publishable site. It even includes the name June, our sourdough starter, and I can go through here and pick my order. It shows the price change and allows me to fill in all these forms here. Pretty cool. And it even pulled up a Google Maps of the location, so I could see where we're located. Now, I don't have a specific location, but I just said Welland, and it's done a good job at that. And lastly, it gave us a bonus for a newsletter. So in case I have a newsletter for Saltarelli Sourdough, I can go ahead and join it. So for a first draft, it is really good. The only thing I would say is probably improving the contrast in the navigation bar here. So I'm going to prompt it right now in plan mode. I mean, because it's such a small tweak, I realistically don't have to do that. Plan mode doesn't drain any extra tokens, but it does take up more time. So if I just want to quickly make that change, it doesn't hurt to do build mode. Or I can even go to visual edits if I wanted to and click on this right here and manually change it. Now, I don't want to do that because I want AI to do all of it for me. But if I wanted to, I could change the text. I could be like order in all capitals with, a few exclamation marks. But you can click anywhere on the site. So if I want to change maybe the text here, I can do that. I can shrink down the font. And doing minor visual edits like this take way less credits, but it does require to do some editing yourself. So it helps for the small things in case maybe you didn't capitalize something or it didn't highlight something that you wanted highlighted. That is what visual edits really shines at. But just for improving the navigation bar here, I'll just say, hey, I noticed some of the text in the navigation bar is quite hard to see. Would you be able to improve the contrast so that it is easier for the viewers on the site to go and check it out? From there, I'm just going to go and ask it to fix that. Just because it's a simple prompt, I don't need to do a big complex plan. I just really want it to maybe make the background here solid, just so that I can see the text, or have it maybe change the color so it goes from white to brown on the white background here. And while that is loading, I want to show you guys the mobile version, because obviously because most websites get the other half of the traffic from mobile. So you can see I pull up the phone version, or this is the tablet version. We can see what it will look like on the tablet. Looks solid once again. Maybe I'd make that image a little bit bigger, but for right now, it works perfectly. And I could check out the mobile version. So mobile, it does a good job. It just fixed it right now. But you can see if I go back here, they fixed it. Now it changed. It's done that exactly. It's really intelligent in that way. I didn't even have to ask it to change the color like that automatically. It just went with what it thought would be best. Now you can see our navigation bar looks really stunning. And if I want to spice things up a little bit more, maybe I'd ask it to include some animations. But for the most part, this is a really solid site. So what do I do next if I want to publish it? Well, I'd go up to the publish button here in the top right corner. You can see Lovable is generating me its own preview link right now, which is already available. So I can go here, continue, and it's going to go generate me a link. And so boom, as you'll see here, we have our new website, which is live and shareable as a link. So I can send this to my friends now. I can share this to my client now. And this will be a live preview link I can show them for their website concept. Now, problem is that this URL has lovable.app at the end of it, so it doesn't look really clean. We want it to be something like .com or .ca. So how do you do that? Well, that's from purchasing a domain, which I'll get into right now. So for my domain preferences, I like to use Hostinger, but that doesn't stop you from using something like Cloudflare, GoDaddy, Ionos. Ionos is arguably the best because it natively connects to Lovable, but I find that Hostinger is pretty good for their customer service and then also the best bang for your buck. So for a business, say I wanted to get a Saltarelli Web Studio domain, I would go in the hostinger.com and I would click on domains. I would want to go to get a new domain. As you see, I've navigated to here, and I'm going to type in my desired URL. And you can see exactly for a perfect match, I have Saltarelli Sourdough if I want to do this for the name of my business. Now, I don't have to do .ca, I could do .com, I could do .org, if I type it right, .org. It all depends on the availability. If I'm just doing my business, I'm not trying to do some organization page, or I'm not trying to, or just want to keep the URL very simple, then I could just end it with .ca if you're in Canada, of course, and that will be what the URL appears as. Now I would go to add to cart and continue to checkout. And then from there, you go ahead and buy your domain. Now that you have a new domain, you're going to do two things on Lovable. You're going to go back to your app. And you're going to click on Get a Custom New Domain. You're going to go back to your app and click on Add Custom Domain. From here, I'm going to go into connecting an existing domain, or you can buy one directly through Lovable. But once again, Hostinger I find is cheaper, or GoDaddy, and you can get the best bang for your buck there. So connect a domain. I'm going to type in the one that I would like to connect. Saltarelli Sourdough, welland.ca. And I would say connect domain. Now I have to complete my setup on it. So I would go to complete setup here and then continue. I'd be asked to select my domain provider. So I'm going to go to Hostinger, as it is one of the options here. I would enter my email, my passcode, and it would, boom, automatically connect. Just put in those details. And then once your domain is live, you'll see this turn green, and that means it'll be live on the internet. You can then copy that link and go to your website and check it out. For the sake of today's video, I'm going to go into my business's website and just show you what that would look like. So I'll go in the publish here. You can see I have two managed domains. I have the I have the preview one from Lovable, and then the new connected one for saltarelliwebstudio.ca. This one has unconnected, so I have to fix that. But you can see this is what it would look like here, and I would click on it, and it would bring me to my website. And that's really it. We went from not knowing how to prompt to going to Claude to going to Lovable, and then getting a fully live website connected to a real domain. Now, if you're a freelancer working with a client and you want to know who owns the domain, I recommend that you have the client do the Hostinger steps. You could send them over a video like this one or another free resource online and have them go through, purchase the domain, and then send you the login credentials so you can go in and do this process on Lovable. For legal reasons, that just keeps things really simple. And if they ever want to change providers in the future, it's really easy for them to do that. So once again, I hope this video did help out and you did enjoy. And if you did find a little bit of value, a subscribe always helps out a bunch. And I would really appreciate it if you go check out some of the other videos on my channel where I talk about more AI tools just like this one so I can teach you. This has been Adam from Saltarelli Web Studio, and I'll see you guys in the next one.